So I'm going through this executive functions worksheet. Pause and look if you'd like. And here list all the types of executive functions that I am currently working on. And I'm going to point out one that's I'm having difficulties right now kind of orienting. So planning and prioritization, the ability to create a roadmap to reach a goal, to complete a task. It also involves being able to make decisions about what's important to focus on and what's not important. And so right now, I initially wanted to go work out and take a break and step aside from the work that I have to get done, but that's not what's important, and I need to focus on this exam that's due tomorrow, and I have to complete a cheat sheet that consists of the final compilation of fall, spring, and summer's final version into a 4x6 flashcard. And in order to kind of hone that type of planning network, I usually create a wish list, and so I'm gonna start with that, and I'm happy to go through this with y'all as I'm actively struggling to coordinate this with myself. So here goes nothing. My wish list is that I want to pass this exam, okay? And I wish for this summer to be over, summer class to be over. And so the obstacle that I'm facing right now is that I have an exam. I have a final project, and I'm overwhelmed and want an escape or a miracle. And the outcome is that if I complete this and I study really well, I can get a job, I can make time to do activities I want, and I'll feel accomplished and disciplined. So we're gonna make a plan, and my plan is to create small little accomplishments, such as let's get the materials that you need. Let's think of what the materials are. So I need my iPad, paper, laptop. All of these materials are luckily charged, pencil, and then on my technical devices, I need to pull up the fall, summer, and spring. Right now, I'm currently working on the summer on my iPad, and then later I have to go print this out. And so luckily I have a printer in my house, but if that doesn't work, then I have to go to a public printer, which is in the library that closes at 4. So if that happens, it's best to test printer before, and then I can decide next if I want to do this cheat sheet virtually on a iPad, or if I should do and if not, the detour would be paper plus pencil. And then in that session, I will be studying by writing the materials down and transferring it from the practice exams to the cheat sheet. And if I see any repetition, I'm able to cut it off and kind of create my own final exam, because I've noticed there's a lot of repetition in all of the exam. So something that I can further expand upon for the planned is to work upon finding duplicates problems, makeshifting my final exam version, and remove redundancy. So like this will overall reduce the amount of repetition of me going back and forth, looking through the cheat sheet and be like, oh, I remember this somewhere, I just can't remember if this is, did I write this down already or not, since you've already been exposed to so many of like the problems already. What you have copied down already is one of the midterms from, let's find the title of that midterm, title of copied midterm. And then remember that the sentence structure should remain the same for the short answer questions. And then some of the concepts, let's put this in the back, for friends, like if you're going to talk to your classmates, concept check, clear understanding of how ATE connects, OLS, plus write my own understanding diagram. To try plus attempt. So good thing for you, or like myself, I've already ordered an Uber Eats meal. It's on its way, and in this time being, I will make sure to take breaks, and in order to do so, I have to plan those breaks, and during those breaks, I have to seriously take them seriously, because often more than not, I feel like breaks are useless, but instead, they are actually very helpful in the long term. So, given that I have taken a break this morning, napped, woke up, I've checked all the needs that I typically have, and it's taken me so long just to get here, and it's already 1 o'clock. But I want to be mindful of those things that, like, hey, it's not detrimental to my health or my mental health. If not, it's helping me kind of get prepared for this moment. And then I have about 9 hours to study, maybe subtracting by like 9, take away 7 hours of studying, and that's probably plenty given the content of like how ambitious do I want to be. And if I want to just get the main like chunk in, it requires a lot of preparation, such as cutting down all the repetition and like cleaning the data, almost as if you're a data scientist and you're like, okay, in order to begin this task, you need to clean the data before you even start you shift the data around. And that's the most tedious part of any task that you're working with. So for example, you have repetition in each of the files that you have, and like the teacher doesn't organize the files properly so that you can easily access, okay, here's all the answer sheets that is associated with this exam. And to pair them also takes a lot of running memory, RAM, from your laptop, computer, whatever. So you have to be mindful of all these different dynamics, because if you're opening a bunch of windows, it slows down your speed time, and you want to effectively and efficiently limit the amount of memory running, just like your normal working memory as a human. So for me, by doing this WOOP technique, it helps me kind of clear the side of like, what am I truly looking for and where am I steering my ship towards? Because initially I was like, oh my gosh, I have laundry to do. Oh my gosh, I want to fix my drawers. I should pick up all the things. Luckily, I have a living room where I can leave without any distractions or fall asleep. And I have this cushion pillow that makes me feel comfortable. And there's a lot of things that contradict with like how I feel and how I was taught to study. Because in the past, I was like, oh my gosh, you're not allowed to sit down and lay down while studying. But after my back injury, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't really physically stand or else my back starts hurting. So finding an accommodation for myself and also not holding shame in these spaces and understand the different textures and tones of like how my studying habits have shifted throughout the years and how discipline can look very differently for each person. So with that being said, I appreciate you all for just listening and tagging along in creating this WOOP today. And I'm going to get started by checking in with the printer to see if I can even handwrite this. And in my own head, like, it feels like it's going to take forever. But in the grand scheme of things, you weren't going to do anything in the first place. So this is one step closer, a tiny accomplishment towards your main goal. So as long as you're still chipping away or working towards this goal, you're okay. Don't even worry about it. And like, focus on what's in front of you. And like, you've already planned this, you set an intention. How could it be wrong? And if, let's say it is, and you're like, oh my gosh, wait, I have more things to juggle, then you will take that to your own understanding. And so one downfall that I can anticipate is that I don't even get to the point where I get to show them all out and look at them and cross out repetition. I'll just copy whatever exam I can get my hands on. That's like last minute, I'm fucked. Or last minute is like I take the current cheat sheet that I have and I just show up to the exam. But knowing me, like, I'm already preparing, it's only 1 o'clock, I can make this work. I am fully capable and functioning, and I have the confidence that I will do the necessary steps to provide me to have like academic success, and I have the discipline, and I will give myself plenty of rest and time to kind of function and eat. And so even before I even start this, I'm gonna go take a moment to eat lunch so that I'm well fed, hydrated, use the restroom, and then once I'm ready to sit down and work, then I'm working. You know, it's similar to what I've experienced, as in like when I wake up at 8 a.m. and I go straight to school. When I do that, my body doesn't feel like I've had enough time to function or just breathe and live in the space that I currently live in. I feel gratitude for that. Versus when I make space for breaks and rest, I'm more grateful for the time that I do have rest, and then I am ready to work in those other designated spaces because I know that I've done the things to take care of my basic needs. So, all in all, this is to highlight that basic needs are important. I need to prioritize myself, and if I need to have a small talk like this with myself, so be it. It takes 13 minutes out of your day, and after that, you have a more better, clear intention as to where you are trying to go towards and work towards. So, I want to say, as this ambitious thing looks like, I'm going to trust myself in my process that checking the printer is going to be just as useful as passing this exam and showing up. Okay, checking the printer, going to look at all the files, and hopefully my computer doesn't crash, so you do it one at a time, and then copy and paste it into like a Google Doc that will hold the main contents and chunks that you really want. Screenshotting, pasting, and once you're done, you have that Google Doc with all the questions and answers that you want, and you can go through them. And it's a lot of like cut and paste and like, oh, let me go look through the files again, pull that up, look at it, got it. And that's the repetitive part. So to avoid even that, once you have your whole framework of all the questions that you need and want to work on, you have to look at each section and be like, okay, this is summer 2024. Let me look at summer 2024's answer, and then connect the pieces. And then once you're done, like, you can even attempt that. That's like your own makeshift practice exam, because you have no repetition and like all of this is new, almost as to like what Duolingo does with when you're teaching language. Sometimes they show you a little bit of the easier sides where you've been exposed to, and then it gives you a sprinkle of hard. And what I'm doing is that like I'm kind of throwing myself into the hard end, where it's like, okay, there's no repetition, there's no breathing time, but all of this stuff is not for me to retain at the end. It's for me to use during the exam, so that when the exam comes, I have a better time understanding the content, and I can use that as a template when I move forward. I hope that all made sense. If not, it doesn't matter. You're not taking this exam. I am. these are the materials that I need to do for this type of exam. Please be mindful that other exams are different and structured differently, so you might not be able to apply directly the same formula. But I hope this helps you as much as it helps me, and take good care. Peace.